Yeah, a wonderful good morning to our lovely viewers all over the world. It is another exciting episode of the program, The Morning Show with Sir White on Snow TV. And today we are going to have to review a little flip of the newspaper headline that we have on here this morning. And after that, we'll look at some other interesting topics and interesting topic. And please do well the best you can to stay tuned with us as we will roll you through some of the newspaper headlines that we have this morning. First of all, we want to quickly start with Daily Sun newspaper Nigeria. Daily Sun is a Nigerian own-made newspaper. First, in here we have 11 new Supreme Court judges emerges this week. Okay, what we have in there is that this week we're going to have 11 Supreme Court judges will emerge this week. As we all know, that a country without a law, a country without a judicial part of the country is not complete. So Nigeria can be left out, as we have had one or two problems or incidents running from all across the country. So if you want to read more of that news, you will pick up Daily Sun newspaper. Then what do we have in there again? That NJC meets to ratify certificate states judges on Wednesday and Thursday. You pick up a page, you pick up the Sun newspaper, and you get to read more on that on page 6. On page 6. And again, we move on and see more interesting news from the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. It says federal government to spend 6.5 trillion naira on personal costs. This is big. The federal government is said to spend 6.5 trillion naira. Wow, may they give you that money, you make it, you can do one or two small things. But at the same time, what are we saying here? That the NANS demand 200,000 naira allowance from Tinubu. If you want to read more of that news, you pick up the Daily Sun newspaper. You see more of that news on page 25 and page 28. Kano Goba, we know that there have been a big issue happening all across the country with after the recent the just concluded election, from the presidency to the House of Reps to the governors and all that they have been issue. And don't forget that there have been an issue with Governor Yusuf of Kano State. In here we have the Kano Goba 200 lawyers volunteer to assist Governor Yusuf win case in Supreme Court. Wow, 200 whopping lawyers have volunteered to help Governor Yusuf fight his case in court. How are we not sure if something is going to come up at the end of the day? But that is not the big problem. Then we are still moving on in looking at Daily Sun newspaper. This one won't be able to take everything on the Sun newspaper. Then if you want to read more of that news, you can go to all our social media platforms at official Snow TV, or you check out our website at www.snowmediatv.com. You get to see more of this news, and at the same time you'll see all the newspapers that we have dropped all our social media platform at official Snow TV, as well as on our website as well. Okay, let's move on. Issues wrapping up with the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. ITEL waives 193 million naira debt to resolve service. That is big. If you want to read more of that news, you pick up Daily Sun newspaper and you head to page 21 and read more of that news. Okay, let's move on again and check out the Guardian's newspaper Nigeria. Guardian is Nigeria made newspaper. You pick up a copy of Guardian newspaper this morning. What a beautiful page we have here this morning. Okay, we start here with over 60 refinery license inactive in 18 years after few import strikes. Well, okay, let's try to understand that very well. That over 60 refinery licenses are inactive 18 years after as few import strikes. Okay, you read more of that news on page 6 of the Guardian's newspaper. Okay, let's move on this one. Okay, we said this before that NJC said to select 11 new Supreme Court judges this week. Okay, we move on again. Still on the Guardian newspaper, we have here Field Road. Female passenger died, 2 others injured in Lagos tanker explosion. You read that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Okay, we're still moving on, checking out for the news that we have on Guardian newspaper. It says reject wicked 15 billion naira benefiting residents for VP and all that. Okay, you read more of that news on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. It said teachers to hold sub-boss state meeting this week. Okay, don't forget that earlier on we talked about violating according to the federal government, they are not meeting up. So teachers are said to meet this week. So they have to work on so many things in redefine the issues that they have at hand. So you pick up the page of the Guardian newspaper this morning and you see more of the news that we have there. Okay, we move on now to the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard newspaper, Nigeria. Okay, let's start with the big bold headings on the Guardian newspaper this early morning. It said abroad over Nigeria, 141 men delegates to COP28. Let's get what that means. Okay, so federal government did not pay to all COP delegate presidency. Peter Obi, Labour Party blast Tinubu, say high delegation waste of tax payments money. PDP demand road call cast in cure by federal government delegate. Okay, don't forget that during the week, Toke Makewa was in the news as she was part of President Tinubu's delegate to Dubai. So PDP is trying to say that here federal government should do the best they can to work on the cause of how the delegate people for good for any of their function. Okay, let's move on this morning. Article is on the news again. It says I would benefit from federal government resettlement from high-tech contract. Okay, don't forget that however it is also said that ITEL are here to waive 193 million naira debt. Okay, and the article is saying that he is not ready or he will not benefit. Please, article, if you can't benefit, please put my name on the list. I will benefit when I have that. This is $193 million. Wow, what a huge amount of money that we have there. Okay, Monday's interview. Okay, we are still moving on and look at the big flip of what we have on the newspaper from Vanguard. If like I said before, if you want to check more of this news, you can log out to our website at www.snowmediatv.com, or you can also check out all our social media platforms at official Snow TV. There you get to see more of this news. Okay, moving on this morning again on the Vanguard newspaper. It said Nigeria economy begin major shift as oil sector rebounds. Nigerian economy begins major shift as oil sector rebounds. Okay, just like in the past, as we all know that the good numbers of the prominent and the good well-to-do Nigerians all want to put their money in oil business. Here we are having that the oil business is now beginning to shift. At the end of the day, what we pray for and what we want to see is that both the federal government, the state government, and everybody around helps to build this country so we have a good place that we can call country, and at the end of the day we live in that country. You pick up a copy of the Vanguard newspaper this morning and you see that news on page 9. Okay, moving on again. LCG to Nigeria. Keep faith. There is hope for Nigeria. Okay, that is secretary to SF SGF is trying to tell the Nigerians that we should keep faith in Nigeria, that the country can work again. I don't know. Yes, the country will still work if we believe and work together and put things together from the three arms of the government. We see that the country will work for good. So that at the end of the day, we will have a country called Nigeria and we will enjoy and live in this place. Okay, moving on this morning on the issue of Japa. I believe we all know what Japa makes now. Okay, Japa, he said we interviewed over 150 million Nigerians for visa this year. That's coming from the American embassy. He said that over 150 million Nigerians start this year for a visa interview. Everybody wants to run away from the country because of what we see happening in the country. But at the end of the day, if we all continue to Japan, who will live here? I don't know. I'm here, but at the end of the day, that is not our plan. That is not what we want to see. But we pray to see a good and a better Nigeria. Okay. Moving on again. Okay, let's take a little bit from the word of sport. Let's pick up something from the world of sport. Okay, we have here AFCON 2023. The final squad won't be final squad. We won't tolerate bench warmers and super. We won't tolerate bench warmers. Okay, that is Super Eagles, a technical team, coming to say that they will not tolerate anybody coming to the team, and your home is to sit on the bench. We won't tolerate bench warmers, which means that if you are being called this year to come up again, it means you should be ready to do something on the pitch. Just as in Olamide one song, he said the other rappers be like Nigeria, they're not the rich final. But at the end of the day, Nigeria won AFCON, is it 2013 or thereabout? Okay, but that is not where we end. We still pray to do better than where we are, because we are Super Eagles and the Eagles always fly high. So the Super Eagles will try the best they can to put that name, Eagle, let's fly high and win the AFCON this time. Okay, let's move on again and move on to the Punch newspaper. Almighty Punch, a Punch that we all know. If you don't know, the Punch newspaper is about 50 years old, so that is great. Okay, moving on to the Punch newspaper this morning, we have budget 2024 budget. Don't forget that last week the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Tinubu, presented the 2024 budget to the House of Assembly. The House of Assembly sees agency allocation rise to 40% and that rise up to about 1.4 trillion naira. So of all the budget put together, the House of Assembly is trying to say that 6 agency allocation rise about 40% and all the total money amounts to about 1.4 trillion naira. If you want to read more of that news, you pick up a copy of the Punch newspaper and you see that news on page 15. Okay, we have overviewed this before, where we have that over 150 million Nigerians we said that they sat for this year's sat for visa this year. Everybody wants to jump back and leave the country. Forgive my manner, please. The reason why everybody wants to leave the country is because there are some things that are shaking in the country. There are things that the federal government ought to do that they have not done. So that altogether amounts to why you see people want to run away and move from the country to the next country that is doing well. Okay, we'll move on again and pick something again from the Punch newspaper. It says tax default. The federal island revenue will find issues December 31st, which means that if you run a company, you are doing one or two things and you are not paying your tax, they are saying that for those defaulting tax, that they are going to put a major fine from the on the 30th of December this year, which is about a couple of days. So if you know you're owing tax, please do the best you can to pay your tax, because they say that without a tax the country cannot move for us. Snow TV, we are in the bed. We have our tax payment clearance now. We are doing the best we can to clear our tax. Forgive the manners, please. As we all know, that is how we do it here. If we don't laugh, if we don't joke, things remain the way they are. Okay, another issue is coming up on jackpot again. It said hospital reduces outpatient surgery over 400,000 naira migrate. Okay, don't forget that before in the world that we have a waving say that the over 150,000 Nigeria are sat for this year's visa. And in other jackpot issue again, we have here that about 4,000 doctors have migrated out of the country. God help Nigeria. God help us. God help. Okay, I can see my big bro on the screen there. He's saying, soon, my miracle we hit in Jesus' name. Thank you, bros. That is my own boss and brother watching us live from Dubai this early morning. Thank you for joining the live stream. Please do the best you can to help share this video so more people will get to hear voice. Okay, we are looking at of all the totals we have here, about 101,197 Nigerian doctor moved to UK from May 29. Then about 789 Kano nurse, 162 doctors quit. Wow. So what are we saying? That the country is undergoing a very big shape. So if these people are leaving the country, it means that the country is a big problem. Please, let's help to rebuild our country, Nigeria. Okay, Kano government aid arrest for alleged palliative looting. You get to read that news on page 15. Okay, if I forget before the issue we have with about the 400 doctors migrate from Nigeria, you get the news on page 2 and page 16 of the Punch newspaper. Okay, we are moving on again. They say UBA wins Bank of the Year. UBA wins Bank of the Year in Nigeria and in several countries. You read that news on page 34. Okay, let's move on again as we review what we have this morning on the Morning Show with Whyte on Snow TV. We are on newspaper review. Let's look at what we have on Daily Trust. Daily Trust, the Lagos edition. Okay, we have here APC Plateau Speaker lock horns over warning of new lawyers. Okay, don't forget that in the world, it was said before that from Wednesday and Thursday this week, the Supreme Court is going to swear in 14 Supreme Court judges. APC is speaking on that note again, that they want again swearing in new lawmakers. Yes, people will tell you that the lawmakers we have in our country today are not doing well. Why are we bringing more? But that is best known to the federal government and those who are raging up to that. Okay, if you want to read more on that news, you get to read more on that news on page 12. If I can see very well on page 12. Okay, let's look at Japa. Okay, we've reviewed the issue on Japa before that. We've interviewed about 180. I'm seeing here Nigerians this year. That is American Embassy put it that on. Okay, 3 months after, no clue on whereabouts of adopted Zamfara varsity student. We know that in the north we always have cases of kidnapping, not just in the north, all over the country have cases of people being kidnapped and all that. Okay, there is alarm this morning raising that Zamfara University students have been kidnapped. After 3 months, there is no news from them and what has happened to them. I believe we bring this up. I see that this was brought up. See that the agency will be able to look into that case as well. Okay, let's touch a little bit of what is happening in the Israel and the Gaza war. About 700 Palestinians killed as Israel renewed the battle again. Wow, 700 people dying. 700 Palestinians killed as Israel renewed Gaza bombardments, bombing the country and whatever that they have going on in there, please say no to war, say no to war. That has always been my slogan, because I try to look at what happened, and they're still ongoing the Russia and Ukraine war. I tell myself, the houses, the hotels, the buildings, the um, properties that were being destroyed, it takes years before they get that back. Please say no to war. Okay, Trust TV Media House. Trust TV win Media House up award of the year. Okay, that is Daily Trust TV, the Media House TV award of the year. Okay, let's quickly go to Tribute newspaper. Let's go to Tribute newspaper. Cost just 200 naira. Okay, now moving on, we're going to retouch what we retouched before, then we recap with other things that we have. Okay, PDP knock Tinubu climate change summit and a summit delegate. Okay, we said that before, that you get to read more on that news on page 2, with the numbers of delegates that President Tinubu do take with himself anytime he is going on some functions outside the country. You read that news on page 2. Okay, we have flipped this before, that the Federal Island Revenue Service with petition interest on outstanding tax liability. For those who are not paying their tax, you work on and make sure that you pay your tax. You read that news on page 4. Okay, still on the Tribute newspaper this morning. Still on Tribute newspaper this morning. DSS, EFCC, ICPC, Vet Supreme Court nominee. Okay, just don't you read that news on page 12. Don't forget that earlier on, we put it on the news. I mean, we've said before from other newspapers that we've read here that the Supreme Court said to unveil 11 Supreme Court judges this week. Okay, we are still moving on. Let's move on to the Daily Independent. The Daily Independent this morning, beautifully made, that we have here. Okay, condemnation of trailers over 145 billion naira budget to return to presidential villa. That is big. I don't know the way these people call this money. Sometimes I just look at myself and I'm just surprised with this huge amount of money. 1.3 billion naira. Please let me just have one. Let me just have one. If I have one, I think that would be good for me to do one or two things. Forgive my manner, please. Okay, we are still moving on, looking at the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. You get to read more on that news on page 7. Okay, the big board here we have your week naira, FX voluntarily may implement 2024 budget. Okay, we get to analyze and see what that news is talking more about. But if you want to read more of that news on your own, you can get a copy of the Daily Independent newspaper and look out for page 29. Okay, we've done look at this before from other newspaper that Kano Guba, Northern's lawyer, won Tinubu Supreme Court against one-party state. Okay, I think it is one thing that is always in existence in this country. Sometimes ago in this country, it was all about PDP, or all the countries all the states you step in, it was all about PDP, and PDP. I think now the APC is coming up a bit. I don't know, or what I'm majorly after. What we're after is that at the end of the day, we have a good country that every one of us can live in. At the end of the day, we will be happy with what we are doing to ourselves in this country. Okay, let's move on again and go to the world of sport. It was a nightmare for Manchester United, as Tottenham did not allow City to breathe. and just President Tinubu will say, let the poor breathe. They did not allow them to breathe, as they were also equal to the task. Okay, we have here on the okay, we're going to review more things we have on sport from the Punch, Sport Extra. It costs a lot, about 50 naira. If you want to look for such, you go for a copy of the newspaper, and you get to read more of this news. But we have more of these headlines all over our social media platform at official Snow TV, and also on our website at www.snowmultimediatv.com. Yeah, let me quickly correct this. People have been asking what happened to the website. Yes, we have to work on a domain change name. We switched from Snow Media TV to Snow Multimedia TV. That is our website, but the other website is still under construction, which means that soon we have to run two different websites. Why are we doing this? We are looking for a way to serve you more better. Okay, we are moving on again with the paper this morning. Tehang Rashford, back Maguire Rashford for struggle. As we all know, Rashford have not been in his best form this season, but we hope that he gets something back. Okay, again, Sancho gets United lifeline. Sancho to get Manchester United lifeline, which means that at the end of the day, whatever the decision is from Ten Hag and Manchester United bought him, if Sancho stays on the team or if he leaves the team, you get a copy. You read that news on page 4. Arsenal, Liverpool to face each other on third from the FA Cup third round. You read that on page 8 of the Punch Sport Extra. Adelaide scores 5 in host win as Kano Pillars paid Gobe United of 5 goals to 2. You read that on page 7 of the Punch Extra. Okay, let's move on again and look at some of the interesting things that we have to work on. Okay, Boniface and Bundesliga 5 years that with a goal. You know, sometimes people used to say that he is good, he's not scoring, just the way Marcus Rashford is struggling to score these days. What I don't tell people, there is one thing about football. Football is of class, and football is of class, and it's of the huge talent. It's of, at the same time, it's of a form, and it's of a huge talent again. When a player is on his best form, he can do anything he wants to do on his pitch. But when a player is not on his best form, you just give the player a little time to work on himself. But when it is taking more of the time, that is where people get to say more things, that this player is not doing well, he's not moving well, or get about. But at the same time, give that time, they will do whatever they have to do, as Boniface has ended his Bundesliga goal tout by getting a goal for his club. Okay, we still move on again. Don't forget that AFCON 2020 qualifier is still on the way, and at the end of the day, okay, well, let's wrap it up. You know, yesterday it was a huge game for Liverpool as they take on Fulham. Unbelievable Fulham. Yes, if I must use that word, unbelievable Fulham, as Arnold rescued the Red from the 7-game trailer. It ended 4 goals to 3 in favor of Liverpool, and Chelsea had Chelsea 10-man edge Brighton with 3 goals to 2. Okay, that is a bit flip of what we have today on our newspaper headlines review, and we also have some other foreign newspaper that we're going to review to you, but not now as it's time, because we have to quickly look at 1 or 2 things in here. Okay, don't forget, there is something trending. You get to watch and see that news on all our social media platforms at official Snow TV, and you also get to see it on our website. So we're going to create a page where we have to flip on this thing. What is that has been trending? Is a video of a police officer that was helping a police officer that was giving hand to the the First Lady of Osun State, Mrs. Adeleke, to face her earring. I don't know what you make of that. I don't know what you make of that. So you can leave your comment in our comment section. Actually, we have as we look at this all together. Don't forget that in the past we've always tried to look at this. There was a time in this country where so many things were planned to work. I mean, there was a time in the country where the police were said to stop following some persons. I think it started with Amon then. Forgive my manner, please. Where you have some police officers with their using umbrella to cover money, and people say that this personnel, they are not police officers. So at the end of the day, it is not good for a police officer to serve. I mean, to work under this person as if they are slave to them. You get to see that video all our social media platform where Nigerians react to police officers helping the Osun State First Lady Titi Layo Adeleke to wear her earring. So whatever you make up of this, you put it in our comment section. If you feel it is good, yeah, at the same, yes, she is a first lady, but at the same time, there are some things that we ought to work on when dealing with this security personnel. The security personnel is not a slave to her, but at the same time, her duty as a security personnel is to protect her, not to help her to wear her shoes, to wear even her undies and all that. I'm not saying that she helped her to wear her undies. I'm only saying that she was helping her to face her earring. Okay, that is where we wrap it up on today's edition of the program, the morning show, where we have to look at the newspaper review. Then we bring in one or two topic again. Yes, I still remain Bartolome Whyte, aka Sir Whyte. Please do the best you can to join us every morning as we have to work on more on newspaper review. Then by noon, we also bring you stories all around the world. That's where we do the Tales with Sir Whyte on Snow TV. Join me by 1 a.m. as we have to review, the Tales with Sir Whyte on Snow TV, where we pick an interesting topic, then we discuss all on it to get that. At this junction, I'm going to call it a wrap on the show this morning. Please follow us all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, and all our social media platforms at Official Snow TV. You can also get to check out the latest news around the world on our website at www.snowmultimediatv.com. Follow me on my personal page at I am Sir Whyte on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on on Instagram, yes, at I am Sir Whyte. At this junction, I say good morning and have a blessed day ahead. Do not forget to join me by 1 p.m. as we will have to bring on other interesting program, which is the Tale with Sir Whyte on Snow TV. Then we choose an interesting topic and we will dwell on it. At the same time, every Saturday on Marriage and Relationship Clinic with Sir Whyte on Snow TV. At this junction, I say stay tuned and God bless. Bye-bye.